Welcome to the Motown India show, Mr. Jain.
Thank you very much.
First is Make in India, with the PM endorsing it. How motivating is it for entrepreneurs like you and for companies like yours?
I think it couldn't have come at a better time. It's extremely, extremely critical that the government is actually recognizing that the backbone of this economy growth would come with manufacturing growth. I think the economy obviously is a bit skewed towards the services, and the manufacturing and industry needs to actually get its act together. And I think Make in India is a tool, it's a policy, it's an enabler to do this. So at least from the 25 sectors which within Make in India, what the government has identified, automotive and automotive component is one of the focal sectors. I think extremely, extremely critical for us that we actually do our bit. Obviously, the AMP 2026, which is the phase 2 of the AMP plan, that's also come out with the background of Make in India. And it gives immense scope of opportunity in terms of the contribution what the automotive industry can do towards the economic GDP of the country. Also in terms of the scale, what we can achieve domestically, the exports. So I think it's extremely motivating for entrepreneurship, for everyone to not just invest in India, but use India as an opportunity to actually have a global scale.
Great. But earlier in the day, Osamu Suzuki mentioned in a speech that quality in India, and he emphasized on that, and Make in India should literally go hand in hand. In fact, the slogan should be quality in India, Make in India. So how pertinent is quality in today's times, especially when we are sending materials out of India and we are one global market?
I think what Mr. O. Suzuki said today morning is not just relevant, but that is the base of Make in India. We call quality as hygiene, but it's not really that. It's actually going to be the focus point. Till now, what Make in India is, it's not just an invitation to Make in India, but also to make a competitive, good quality product in India. The PM himself has talked about Make in India, but with zero defect and zero effect. And I think this is what O. Suzuki was emphasizing on today. If we don't have quality as a manufacturing, we basically would not be able to survive. And I think quality has a bigger meaning than just manufacturing a quality product. Quality means quality in its processes, quality in its people, quality in the technology, quality in the complete integrated process of even design and development. And that means that you are giving a reliable part, which is not going to fail in the market. If that a company is able to do, and if it's able to do competitively, then definitely the globe is the opportunity. And I think this is what the aspiration is. Till now, I think we as the auto component guys need to focus upon setting and putting the right investments, quality investments, to give this kind of a quality integrated part.
And today you see among the component manufacturers, among the various tiers, tier 1, tier 2, tier 3, how do you see them in terms of quality? Have they come up?
So yes, I mean, if you look at, let's say, you asked, have they come up? So if I give a span of what happened, say, from 2000 to 2015, in 15 years, huge quality improvements, right? There has been TPM, TQM, education imparted, and there has been quality improvement. Is it enough? And to reach the global scale? Of course not, it's not. I mean, say we have warranty recalls, we have safety concerns, and going forward, if you look at global risk in not giving a good quality product, huge. So obviously, is the industry globally quality ready? We're not, definitely. And that's what I was saying, that we need to invest, refocus our initiative to actually get into a quality product. Also, I think you mentioned about tier 2s, tier 3s, and I think we need to focus and see ourselves in an integrated supply chain. It's OEMs, and then tier 1, tier 2, tier 3. And in some cases, tier 2, tier 3s are bigger than tier 1s in raw material supply. But when it comes to specific component supplier, I think there are certain hygiene factors which in this automotive chain we need to take. And when I say hygiene factors, for example, there has to be a good management bandwidth, a good quality tool, good tooling processes, good processes on the shop floor, hygiene of actually employing the best skilled products. And that requires, all this requires a certain scale to justify your costs. And I think that's where tier 2, tier 3, it's a responsibility of tier 1 to actually scale up our tiers to tier 3 instead of fragmenting them. Cost will not be the only criteria. It should be quality, good supply base. As our OEMs helped us to grow in tier 1s, we should also be helping our tiers 2, 3, or 3 to grow and scale up and actually be able to give a good, strong quality product.
Okay, I'm sure that will happen. And as we move along, making in India has been there ever since India got independence, and perhaps much before that also.
Sure.
The difference here is the emphasis now being put on making in India.
Right.
But what are the challenges for the industry, for the automotive industries, when it comes to perhaps a direction from the government in terms of policy support?
See, I think when it comes to Make in India, right, definitely first and foremost, if I look at from a global perspective, India ranks low in ease of doing business, and government has recognized that. And if I were to look at a recent survey, I mean, so there are 4 or 5 things which would actually be making a reality Make in India, where these are the 5 challenges. The first challenge would actually be ease of doing business. The second challenge would be Skill India. So the labor reforms, how do you skill up? We are having a young demography, a right demography, a good workable population. However, I think going forward, this population, when it becomes employable, it needs to be also having a meaningful job and the right set of skills. It should be job ready. So that's a huge challenge, which I think the government should be able to facilitate. Clearly, I mean, say a visible deficit is infrastructure. And I mean, so I can talk about infrastructure for hours and hours, but I mean, say power deficit, roads, which is very closely linked, ports, which is the logistics. So I mean, so it's very closely linked to our economy, right? I think political stability. I think this is at least one of the least expectations of the government, if they are a political stable government. I mean, say, let's say GST. You know, it was disappointing what happened in the last parliament. So everyone's hopeful that it should go through, keeping the national interest in mind. And I think the fifth is this whole complexity around volatility. You know, the whole volatile situation which is happening, but I guess that's also part of the Indian geography. And we hope that the government is intervening at the right time, you know, to get this. I mean, so yuan getting depreciated, there are currency risks. I mean, so if the government timely intervenes, interest rates, I mean, say we have expensive, I mean, say cost of capital in the world. So to make India competitive, we need to make India a reality. And for that, I think we're looking always for government support to make us as an industry more and more competitive.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
There's now one more reason to drool. The Honda CBR 650F.